Tech Gumbo back on your radio here on Talk 107.3 FM WBRP, Baton Rouge's local talk and information leader. And when it comes to tech information, these two guys who I do this show with, they know more than probably me and everybody else listening. They are James Moak, owner, and Haggai Davis, chief salesperson and bottle washer at Gulf South Technology Solutions. Guys, it's been too long. We've been talking about how we missed a few weeks, but every time I saw something technical, I wanted to ask the question, and I made notes, and I left the notes at home. So let's talk about being unprepared. Luckily, you guys have a guest to fill that time. Who do we have here?
Okay, we have William Sellers, who's the Senior Innovation Engineer at Venyu with us. William has been with Venyu for quite some time, back even before it was even Venyu, back before it was NTG.
Yeah, actually, I've been with the data center, been attached to the data center since January 2001. Back when the data center was being built, I worked for a company called Solid Systems and just have been riding that wave ever since.
Well, you've seen it all over there then.
Absolutely.
William, welcome to Talk 107.3.
Thank you.
Now, Venyu, what do you guys do as a data center?
Yeah, so we're a commercial data center. We specialize in hosting cloud computing, so things like virtualization, hosting people's infrastructure as a service. Also data protection services, so backup and recovery. And then even further on into doing disaster recovery, which we've had some really good success with doing for companies in the Baton Rouge area, Louisiana area, and then across the board.
You went through Gustav?
Gustav and Katrina.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like?
A lot of work.
I can imagine.
But very good, because, I mean, one of the things I always go back and remember is there was a customer we were doing work for in the New Orleans area, and they came up and they were like, guys, I'm here, I'm ready to, I'm declaring a disaster. And within, 5 to 7 hours, we were like, okay, go ahead and sit down at this station here. All your data is recovered, all your email is recovered, you're back in business. And I remember him just, his tears tearing up going,
wow.
If I didn't have you guys, if I didn't have this, my data back, my servers, my virtual servers restored, I would be out of business. So that kind of hit home with me, because to see the emotional side of it, was incredible that we can actually help people.
I remember I read a story not long ago. They went back and did a study for 3 years of companies after Katrina, of those who lost their data and had a tough time recovering it. Almost 80% of them were out of business.
Yeah.
For those who, if they couldn't recover the data, that didn't have it backed up or stored off-site, or if they were just down for the 2 or 3 months, they never bounced back.
Yeah, it's really hard when a business loses, data and their infrastructure.
So who would technically, or who would be the typical Venyu client?
Really, it varies. I mean, we have small clients that are, the two-guy shop who wants to host infrastructure in our data center, whether it's co-location, they want to bring in their own servers into a rack. We provide them power, internet connectivity, up to large corporations that we host their data, host their backup and recovery. So really, we're a full service. We offer services to any small business on up to large corporations.
So you guys are pretty serious about your security over there. I know you can't go into the real deep dive on it, but just give us an overview of some of the security measures you guys take.
Sure. So we are a data center here in Baton Rouge, and
your Tier 4 data center?
Tier 4 data center. I'm pretty sure we're for Tier 4 data center. I'd have to go back and make sure, but yes. And what we do...
And a Tier 4 means you're the highest level of security.
The highest level of security and redundancy.
You will not be penalized for that answer. Just
okay. So basically, we have, someone just can't walk off the street and come into the data center, of course. We have several layers of security that we embed into our data center and practices to keep customers' data safe at a physical level. We have certain certifications that we hold and certificates that prove that we are a class data center. On the data storage realm, we keep our data, our backup data, in an encrypted format. It's proprietary, so someone just can't get the files and look at a customer's data.
Yeah, I used to be a part of a business that had a rack in Venue, and had to go and show my driver's license. Had to do my biometric scan with my hand, and then get a card to get just into the rack, into where the data, and had to go through the man trap.
Yeah.
And I mean, these guys are top notch when it comes to security.
It's a lot to go through, and we're aware that some people are like, man, that's a lot of stuff I got to do to get into my rack. But on the flip side, we're doing this to keep your data safe, keep your servers safe, and maintain security.
In the words of Pee Wee Herman, James Bond kind of stuff, huh?
James Bond kind of stuff, yeah.
Well, and there's so many things, so many regulations these days with HIPAA and any of the accounting, financial type applications and businesses that require this type of security and this type of like you said, just the different levels of security to get into the center, let alone access any of the data.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys were recently purchased at Venue or acquired by eTel. How's that been going so far?
Going great. We're blending the two companies together, aligning the technology on both sides, and be prepared to see some new technology that we're both working on.
That's cool. I know eTel's a great company, and so
Absolutely.
you guys are going to have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, we're very excited.
You're going to be on the consumer side of things too, more than you are now?
So I'm going to be doing both, a little of both. I'm still going to be doing data center products and looking at new innovation that we can bring into the data center. But I'll also be working with a team from eTel, a great team of eTel, who has done commercial, has done residential. So we're very excited to kind of look at what we can do together. And I think there's a lot that we have in a lot of opportunity for people.
And to let our listeners know what level of expertise is here, it was a collision between the guys from Venue, our IT guys, the guys from Gulf South Technology Solutions, and they were all in the hallway, and the level of noise was getting up because they were just talking shop. And I just said, I don't understand any of this. I have to go in the other room. So they appear to be conversant in geek.
It's a lot of bits and bytes and speeds and feeds, as they say.
Yeah.
And you get us all in the
Dings
same
and
room.
bings, bells and buzzes.
It's all kind of things.
So,
But it's easy enough for people to understand once you kind of step back and kind of start talking with them about data centers and what is a data center and what can we do for businesses. It actually makes sense, and it's something that's been around for a long time.
can you reveal some of your bigger clients, or is this some kind of client protection privilege thing?
So if you go to venue.com, and if you look at the splash page, we have a list of some of our bigger clients that are on our, you can either contact that we have white papers on and a lot of collateral to find out what is Venue and what we do there. And there's a list of our companies that have approved to say, hey, we want you on the website.
Pick two.
I don't have them off the top of my head.
Fair enough.
I think Bosch and Loam.
At one point, y'all were doing the Dallas Cowboys, weren't
And
you?
we were doing NFL. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but I just say go to venue.com, and right there on the splash page is a list of our companies.
And Venue is VENYU.
Right, VENYU.
VENY. Very important.
Important. Lamar Advertising is one of our companies. We do a lot of work for. So we're here in town, a local company, and also Community Coffee.
Oh, you can't get any better than that.
Can't get any better than that.
Well, and I think one of the things, too, that I think it's important to add is that the data center services at Venue are not just sized up for enterprise businesses. That's kind of a misnomer in the industry that, my company is not big enough for a data center, and we actually learned many years ago that is not the case. And so, they have solutions that will fit pretty much any size business, whether it's as simple as offsite data backup, which every business can use that regardless of the size, all the way up to the cloud infrastructure that he was talking about that a lot of companies are migrating to these days. So it definitely would, help. We would definitely encourage people, businesses of all size, to to check into it.
Yeah, and with virtualization and infrastructure as a service, that really is a game changer for people who don't have the ability to go out and buy tons of servers and invest in that physical infrastructure that they would want to perhaps put in our data center. So with virtualization kind of changing the game in cloud computing, where a person can say, hey, I want 5 virtual computers, virtual servers with this much RAM, CPU, and disk space, and literally we can provision that in minutes, and without having the customer go out and invest in all that hardware,
Sure.
really is a game changer.
We've got about 1 minute left, and I'd be remiss if I didn't remind everybody that you could win a free copy of Microsoft Office 2013 Professional by visiting Gulf South Technology Solutions Facebook page at facebook.com/Gulf South Tech. That's Gulf South Tech in the search box on Facebook. Keyword FIDO.
FIDO, FIDO.
Like the dog. Got to ask William, earliest technological experience. When did technology click with you and you said, I'm going to do something like this?
It's funny. Someone asked me about this not too long ago, and when I got my first Commodore 64
okay.
back in the day, so this is kind of dating me on how old I am, but back in, like, I think it was 77, maybe, the Commodore 64 came out. And when I turned that thing on for the first time, I was like, okay, wow, this is incredible. And this really got me into computers. And then it's been a love affair since then. I mean, I'm addicted to it. So.
And you put it to work for people who need your services.
Absolutely.
At
Absolutely.
Venyu, they're a data center here in Baton Rouge. William Sellers is the Chief Innovation Officer. Is that your title?
My title is Senior Innovation Engineer.
Okay.
And but before that, I was doing, engineering, technical work, so I actually, in 2001 when I started, I was doing Solaris support, Unix, and then just kind of worked my way up into this position.
Guy knows his stuff. Thanks for joining us. Back with more from Haggai, James, and me, Darren Gaucher, on Tech Gumbo, Talk 107.3 FM WBRP.